This is the math video for math lesson 9.1, and our learning target is this. We're going to find the area, and the area is always the inside. How much square units are in the inside of an area. Find the areas and missing dimensions of parallelograms. Okay, so we're going to stick with parallelograms. Before we do that, I want to give a few definitions. Okay, here we go. We have a polygon. A polygon is a closed figure, which means all the sides connect. Closed figures you can't get in. It's closed, and it's formed by three or more straight lines. If a polygon is three lines, we know it's a triangle. If it's four equal sides, it could be a square. But a polygon is anything that has three or more sides that are closed, and they have to be straight lines. Okay, polygon. Parallelogram is a polygon. It's a closed figure, but this one has four sides, and the opposite sides are parallel and are the same length. So this one right here is the same length as that one, and those two are parallel. They'll never cross. And then this one and this one, those two are also parallel and the same length. I'll do two little, okay? Now, this and this are not the same length, but the opposites are the same lengths and they're parallel. That's a parallelogram, okay? And then a rhombus. A rhombus is a parallelogram. It's a four-sided figure. But the difference with a rhombus and a parallelogram is with a rhombus, they're all the same length. This is the same length. Okay, these two are parallel, and these two are parallel, but everything is the same length. It's kind of like a square that's leaning. Okay? All right, let's stick with parallelogram. If we want to find the area, the inside of a parallelogram, the formula is area equals your base times your height. So once I know the base and once I know the height, I can figure out the area. So on this one, I have a parallelogram. Don't worry about this right here. So we have these two sides are parallel, these two sides are parallel. The opposites are the same length. So here's my base. It's 10 inches. I know that it's the same length as up here. So if this would say it's 10 inches, I know it's the same. Okay? I could figure out what the base is based on this one or this one. Okay? Now the height of a parallelogram isn't on the angle. It has to go directly from one side to the opposite side, and it has to form a right angle. So you could go right here and go straight up, forms a right angle, it's 5 inches. Sometimes you go outside, kind of go this way, up all the way to here, and that forms your right angle, and this is your height. I could have gone this way too. That forms a right angle, and so that would also be my height. Okay? So the height is from here to here, and it has to form a right angle in it. All right. Now, let's just do the formula. Area equals my height is 5, and my base is 10. Area equals 50. Okay. 5 times 10 is 50. What am I dealing with? Inches here? Inches. And when you're dealing with the area, it's always squared, which means that it has this little 2 right here. Okay? When we start to deal with volume, how much is inside a container or a cylinder, or how much is in it, it'll be cubed, which is 3. But squared is 2. Okay? So square inches. Area equals 50 square inches. Okay, so that's pretty much all you have to do. Once you find your height and your base, you multiply them together, and then that's what you get. Okay, now we know this formula and we know algebra. This is an algebraic formula. We just plug in the variables and we solve. Now, if I know two of the three things, I can figure out the third thing. If I know the area and the base, I can get the height. If I know the area and the height, I can get the base. Just like if I know the base and the height, I can get the area. Okay? If I know two of the three things, I can get the third thing. So let's go over here. I have an example of this. It's a parallelogram. I know the area of this parallelogram is 48. 48 meters squared. I know the height is 6, but the base, I don't know. I know two of the three things. I can figure out the third thing because I can just use my algebraic expression or equation and solve for the missing variable. Okay? So let's put it in. A equals base times height. I know my area, 48, equals my base, I do not know. My height is 6. Okay? So I know everything but this base. So that's what I want to figure out what is. If I want to figure out what the base is, it's times 6. So I got to divide this by 6, divide this by 6. 8 equals base. So my base is 8 meters. It's not 8 meters squared because it's just a line. It only becomes squared when it's the area. Okay? Now, I can check to make sure I have this right because I know my area equals base times height. Area equals base is 8, height is 6, area equals 48, which is what they already told me. Okay? So it doesn't matter if you know the base and the area, you can find the height. If I know the height and the area, I can find the base. All right? So there is finding the area of a parallelogram.